Hey y'all. Hi. Okay. So you all really loved this video that I made last month analyzing top-notch outfits. So we're doing that again today. I've queued up some pictures of people who really know what they're doing style-wise, some of them in particularly unexpected but accessible ways. And I'm going to just think out loud today about what I like about these outfits, what specific style tricks we can learn from them, and what it might look like to apply those tricks to ourselves. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't. I hope you'll check out my book. I will link that down below. I'll also link my Patreon down below. I have a podcast with my husband on Patreon, so check it out and let's get into the meat of the video. First up, this glorious photograph. Glorious in so many ways. The duck, the pose, and of course the outfit. So there's a lot that's great about this. I think for me, I'm going to try to stick to the brief of saying what I like first and then kind of going in with analysis. But it's sort of the same in this case. The thing that I like about this is that it perfectly calibrates fashion with like a laid back and easy to wear vibe. It simultaneously feels very fashion and totally effortless and not ostentatious and not precious. And there's a sense of humor about it. Of course, there's character. But I think for me, it's that first thing that I'm really responding to. It's about the shoes. I think that that's being done with the shoes. The character is coming out in the color combination, I think. This cobalt blue with sort of like a chartreusey lime and then white. It's just a little bit off in a characterful way. And that's lovely. That's fine. But the thing that's making it work for me in the way that I respond to is that the vest and sweater are just kind of like something you might wear to go call in the cows. They feel pretty utilitarian, something you might wear to garden. The silhouette of the pants is a little bit more fashion, and the fabric of the pants and the color, that's a little bit more elevated. But even with the pants, the outfit of the sweater, the vest, and the pants together, it feels very weekend at home, Really, really easy. And like it could kind of go either way, depending on who's wearing it and the context and the rest of the outfit. It could go either towards kind of like unfashionable, like jumbled together, didn't do it on purpose, don't have an eye, or it could go towards fashion. And in this case, it goes totally towards fashion because of the shoes, because these shoes are so unexpected and intense, and they're Mary Jane's worn with socks, which is also very statement. And the shoes are hair on hide, and the color matches the hair on the head of the woman wearing this outfit. So it's just the hair color on her head is the same as the hair color on the shoes. That's so cheeky. It's so beautiful, and they don't match anything else in the outfit. In fact, that rich kind of chestnut color is quite contrasty with the blue and green of the outfit. Just imagine if she was wearing totally normcore shoes, like really boring shoes, and also didn't have this hair. It would change everything about this. It would totally recontextualize this. And so it's not just the shoes and the hair, but the fact that they are being worn with this very grounding, kind of low-key, but still interesting clothing that makes this so discussable and dissectable for me. How can we apply this to ourselves? Easy, right? It goes in both directions. So one direction, the one in which we've been talking about this, wearing a really basic outfit, wearing something almost utilitarian, something that doesn't really say fashion, and then putting on shoes that are kind of out of sync with it and therefore elevate it. But it can go in the other direction in that if you have shoes like that and you are fixing to wear them, you can kind of dress down to calibrate. And so the outfit doesn't float off into sort of an overproduced place. This is another example essentially of the same thing. And I also take pleasure in putting this example right after the other one because this outfit is also making use of that cobalt blue kind of chartreusey lime combination. It's like this primary colors color blocking thing in blues and greens that it's simple. It's very simple, but it's so effective. And I think that part of what makes it work in both of these cases is simplicity otherwise. The lines are pretty simple overall in both of these outfits. The color blocks are pretty large swaths on the outfit, and there's not a lot of accoutrement, kind of making it all fussy. And I like this for the same reasons. Playful, confident, really striking, comfortable looking, kind of on the line between something very utilitarian. I mean, this jacket is like a liner coat. This all just looks like clothing that one could move in very easily. The silhouettes are laid back in a way, but we're getting artistry from the deployment of color and like the pairing together of these things. And then of course, the silver shoes, which totally recontextualizes the clothes in this outfit. And it makes them very fashion, very intentional. It's like, oh, she didn't just put green with blue because she happened to have a green jacket and happened to have blue pants and wore them together. I think if she's wearing hiking boots or something, it might look like that and it would still be a lovely outfit. And in fact, one small takeaway from this could be cobalt blue and chartreuse green. If you happen to have two things in those colors in your wardrobe and you never wear them together, you could try it. But these silver shoes make it clear beyond a shadow of a doubt that everything here has been selected. Everything is thoughtful. It's all a little bit more special than you might otherwise have known. The silver shoes are tipping you off. I have another picture of this same woman wearing these same silver shoes and also wearing blue and green. This is more summer, so it's not as seasonal where I am, at least right now, but it's working in exactly the same way. So I think that this is helpful because you can see the repeating of the accessories and the deployment of the same accessory, which is the shoe, to do the same thing with a different outfit at a different time of year with sort of a similar effect, but it's a slight variation on the theme. To me, this really shows how even a statement accessory, like I think when you're thinking of buying silver shoes, it's like, but they're so noticeable and everyone's going to notice that I wear them all the time and they're going to dominate every outfit and sort of overshadow every outfit. I mean, it is true that the silver shoes are the outfit defining piece in both of these outfits, but I also think that you can see between these two photos, frankly, how versatile they are and how applicable something like a really fun statement accessory can be across seasons and across silhouettes and across types of outfits. So I have another example of a different example of powerful shoe interest. But before I show that to you, I'm going to show you some lush footage featuring today's video sponsor, Fabrique, a fashion brand that I love, partly because the pieces are so deliciously high quality, but also because everything is somehow dripping in that intangible quality of coolness and specialness. I was about to say I don't know how they do it, but I do know how they do it. It's their unusual business model, which is that they're a collective designer brand. Basically, they work with a rotating complement of top-level designers to produce limited collections that are essentially high fashion, but are priced much more accessibly than traditional high fashion houses. For example, Fabrique now carries a collection of bags by Valeria Masai, who has done accessories for houses like Prada, Miu Miu, Jill Sander, Helmut Lang. That's just some of them. She is so experienced and it shows. Like the Duomo bag, this is one of her pieces. It's trapezoidal and slouchy. It's kind of visually quiet, I have found, but it fits a laptop and a ton of stuff. It's in this desperately beautiful, deep brown suede that makes you feel like your heart is breaking, but it's also kind of playful with the straps. Here's another one of hers, the Brera bag. It is a wildly sophisticated tote made from full grain leather, which is so sturdy that it makes it feel quite structured, even though it is actually soft enough to be reversible. I love how it looks with the sides folded in, and the hardware is so high quality, it's really easy to change the configuration. It has the ease and capacity of a classic tote bag, but with design, interest, and quality through the roof, which that really describes everything from Fabrique. Design, interest, and quality through the roof. The Hilda jean, designed by Valesca Valentina Yasso Collado, who has led teams at Cult Gaia and Jacquemus. These Starry Night barrel jeans, somehow so unique, but without being ostentatious. I have worn these a lot. I'm also really enjoying styling these sophisticated vintagey trousers by Mariana Catapreta of Calvin Klein. The Cassie sweater, that's the one that I'm wearing today. I am beyond impressed by this. You know how I feel about wool. I only like the good stuff. I'm very picky. The speckle detail in the yarn, the drop shoulder. And y'all, I have to show you one more. This merino mohair checked tweed coat by visionary designer Giuseppe Finelli. This is a fascinating coat that is surprisingly wearable, maybe partly because it's really warm, but it's not too heavy. It has a slight cocoon shape. The colors are a bit retro. As with everything I've ever seen from Fabrique, the diligent craftsmanship shows, the hand of the designer shows, and it's all in perfect balance. So Fabrique currently has a sale sale. Bags specifically currently have unprecedented discounts, which you can stack with my personalized discount code. All of the details for that will be in the description box below, along with links. I am just a huge fan of Fabrique. I wear my clothes from them all the time. Okay, I promised you a different kind of powerful shoe interest, and here it is. This, I guess it's sock interest, but I feel like the shoes as well are a bit unexpected for this outfit that you can't even really see what it is, right? Because it's just black on black, and they're the same shade of black, and the texture of the fabrics are sort of disappearing into the silhouette of the person wearing them. So it's like the clothes don't really matter. It's the most extreme version of what we've been talking about, right? The clothes on the body are just basically a uniform, a black hole of nothingness, kind of. And then the shoes are like this chunky loafer, I think. Yeah, I thought that they were like lace-ups, but actually they are tasseled loafers. And then these socks. It's all about not just showing off the socks, but the shoe sock combination, then a little bit of skin below the pants and where the socks meet. Just everything from the knees down is such an unusual choice, such a confident and artistic choice. And everything else is so mild. All the other choices are so mild. And I just feel like this is a testament to how little one has to do to make an impact, but how taking a big swing in the one arena in which one chooses to swing can pay off so much. Here's another milder example, but kind of the same thing. I feel like in this case, it's all about the red bag, but none of the garments or accessories in this picture are risky in the least, at least not in the way of those shoes and socks. However, because it's all black and then there's this one red bag, it lights it up, right? The whole thing lights up. And I like this because it's like ineffable cool. Like that's why I'm drawn to it. It's just, it's so sloppy. The clothing, the way everything flows, and even like the way she has her hair. There's so much that's literally effortless about this, like just almost like shuffling to brunch. You know what I mean? Late morning. But because of the red bag, and I think these are tabby shoes as well, it just floats, you know? It just all feels like it has a point of view. That's what draws me in about this image in particular. And I guess that is the same thing as the socks and the shoes. These are both examples of doing very, very little overall and then making one singular strong choice that keeps it in fashion land, or actually puts it squarely into fashion land. Because just imagine in either of these outfits, if the rest of the outfit was busier, you know what I mean? Fussier. If it wasn't so simple, if it wasn't this sort of simple, fluid black fabric, but fussier, they might still look fine, but those outfits wouldn't have made it into this video. Let's just say that. Okay. One of my favorites today. This. What do I like about this? I like that it looks so easy and I guess this is kind of a theme, right? It's not a casual outfit, right? Pretty much nothing about it is casual, but it does look like it was put together casually. You know, it just doesn't look like it was fussed over. But so when you zoom out and look at it, it has that quality. But when you zoom in and you assess every single individual aspect of it, you see how lovely and unique each individual aspect is. So she has somehow taken a handful of really special pieces and put them together in a way that makes it feel kind of tossed off. And it's like talent, you know, that is special. So what are the takeaways? Like what's making that happen? I think one thing is this scarf knotted around her neck, but it's like kind of bulky. I'm zooming in. It might be a coat or it's like a puffer. I think it's a scarf, but it looks like it's a puffer scarf. I think the scarf, take note everyone, this scarf, when you look at this picture on the street and there's a lot of stimulation visually with everything that's going on around, it's hard maybe to realize truly how large and impactful this scarf probably is in person. I think it's a pretty big, puffy, very present aspect of this outfit, that scarf. And I think that the outfit in the photograph is benefiting from that, but that aspect of the outfit might not be registering. But I think that that's one takeaway. Like quite a lot of volume, a big scarf can make make more formal pieces feel less formal, you know, because the pants are really quite formal. This bag is like a vintage purse. It's very formal. The sweater is tucked into the pants, which is making it even more formal. It looks just like a pretty basic silhouette, but it's like everything about this reads sort of labored and high formality. And then I think it's that scarf knotted around her neck like that is making it feel like it just is nothing. It's just nothing, you know? And, you know, of course, the pants are beautiful. The pants are beautiful. But I feel like when we're talking about a style takeaway, the pants are beautiful can't like be the takeaway. You know, it has to be something about styling, how you put things together. I also think that it is inspiring that she's carrying this bag. I'm not sure if it actually is vintage, but it's certainly like a frame, like a metal frame bag, like an unusual bag to be carrying, I think, with this outfit. There's a little bit of contrast there, of formality levels. I love it in these videos when I actually can't quite put my finger on what makes something great. I feel like those are my favorite outfits because it keeps me coming back. It keeps drawing me back in. And this is one of those cases. I've been able to identify some of what it is, but not all of it, because you know, art is a mystery at its core. Great art is a mystery, and that's okay. Okay, I put this in to follow up because this is another case of the deployment of a scarf, of volume and texture. Well, there's a lot going on here that is skillful and very attractive, but I want to make the connection between the scarf that we just saw. So the scarf is definitely making this outfit, even though this textured sweater is very beautiful. If she didn't have this scarf on, she'd look great, but it wouldn't have made it into this video. So what's going on with the addition of the scarf here? It's high volume. There's a lot of fabric. It is a kind of print mixing because the texture on the sweater is enough to be essentially a print. And the scarf is just a very unexpected layering piece on top of that, right? I think if this scarf was white or cream or taupe, then I also would not have included this in the video because it's something about the contrast, the utilitarian quality of the scarf. And there's like a masculinity. I feel like there's sort of a masculine feminine going on here. Plaid print has kind of masculinity to me. It's angular, the yellow and black as well. And then the detailing on this sweater has more of like a femininity to it. And I think there's something really attractive about the way that those prints and textures are mixed. It's almost as though this outfit is I don't know, she looks like an artist. She's got like canvas in her hands. She's got a hammer. It looks like she's about to go stretch a canvas on a frame. And so she's working outdoors with her hands. Sort of, that's the vibe. This outfit is like the working outdoors with your hands version of the one that we just looked at, right? So she has much more utilitarian pants, and in her hands, she has the tools of her work instead of that framed purse, but she is also wearing a textured plaid scarf on top of a sweater, and it has overall the same effect. So it's like a way of looking at two people doing sort of the same thing, but in such different contexts and to such different ends, practically, but to very similar ends fashion-wise. Oh, this picture. This showed up in a different video. I think I was just talking about Pop of Red, and I keep coming back to it because it's so unusual. This garment, what is this garment? So why do I like it first? Hannah, keep a handle on yourself. I like it because of the simplicity. It's like a Rothko. Here we have a real Rothko of an outfit, right? The tweed of the dress or tunic, I guess, and the tweedy plaid of the coat are sort of all one universe together. And then the pants are their whole own universe of color. And that's kind of all there is. So I think that there might be a bag that we can't see. There are shoes that I'm just ignoring. So it's not a true 3-bean salad. There aren't only 3 garments in this outfit, but for all intents and purposes, it is a 3-bean salad. And 2 of the beans are very similar. It's like conjoined beans and then a third bean, which is the red. It's kind of a 2-bean salad. And I just love that. And it doesn't need to be like the takeaway from that doesn't have to have anything to do with a weird tweed tunic that is probably like a high fashion garment that is out of the realm of possibility for any of us to own, you know? But this way of like draping taupe and brown over a really bright cherry red and then just like having that be it is so good. And I am not above stealing exactly that. I think for me, it would be like red or coral pants and then a brown oversized chunky knit sweater and then a brown coat on top of that, or a taupe sweater and a taupe coat on top of that. I think I could probably do that with the clothes that are currently in my wardrobe, and I probably will do that based on this. I think this could also be inspiration for those of us who are toying with the question of how to wear a dress over pants. It's sort of an idea that comes and goes in fashion and on this channel. And I've never really quite managed to wear it out and be like, this is me now. I feel great. This is inspiring. There's something about the outerwear fabric of the tunic that makes it feel more doable. Or again, like knitwear. I feel like a knitted dress over trousers like this feels a little bit more approachable to me than other kinds of dresses. So that could potentially be a takeaway. But really, this is like plain and simple, just a color story that I want to steal. And the fact that the pants are the red part. I feel we've talked a lot about red sweaters with otherwise neutral outfits, but both in this picture and in the one with the umbrella and the frame clutch and the puffy scarf, it's like the red or the orange pant with the otherwise neutral outfit that is really getting me going. Okay, more color. I want to continue on talking about just some inspiring and interesting color play, that the easy takeaways from these coming couple of pictures will actually just be, maybe I have this color and that color and I could try wearing them together. For example, in this picture, this pink sweater, I have a pink Baba chunky knit cotton vest that I ill-advisedly bought when I was right at the end of my maximalist phase and just starting to really dabble with aesthetic minimalism, and I really should have known better. It's a beautiful garment. It has a lot of character, but I really struggle with wearing it because it just feels like past self vibes. However, I could see making it work with a color combination like this, and also that the pants are corduroy, so it makes the whole thing more utilitarian. It kind of knocks the edge of fussiness off of the color pink, to have it with these taupey brown corduroys. And then chunky scarf that is a similar color to the pants, but not exactly the same, swathing the neck. This also might actually be a sweater worn as a scarf yet again. And then this bag is beautiful, but quite utilitarian, right? It looks like it's canvas. It looks like a work bag of some kind. And then sort of utilitarian shoes as well, the school shoe as well. It just looks so easy. This color combination looks so easy. And when I look at my pink sweater, that's a similar color to this, it looks so hard, like so hard to wear. And this is opening my eyes to one way that I could make it work. Maybe I'll try it. I also think this is sort of a lesson in draping and swathing, because these pants are quite oversized. This shirt, the sweater is quite oversized. And then the scarf on the neck. What I'm trying to say is that without the scarf, this is one of those situations where the third thing is bringing it all into balance. So I think that without the intense cloth, the intense draping of fabric around the neck, the loose on loose of this outfit wouldn't be working as well. Imagine if that fabric around the neck, the scarf, imagine if that was gone, how much more basic this would look. She would still look lovely, but it would just be much more basic and much less exciting and less in balance. And it would maybe look like sort of too much fabric, like too drapey, too loose, too much slouch. But then the addition of yet more fabric, yet another thing, more slouch essentially, makes it all make sense. So this is an excellent example of that. This, I believe, is the same woman. She's probably some fashion person. I'm humiliated that I don't know I'm here talking about fashion, but I'm just looking with my eyes and talking with my mouth. I don't really know these people. But look at that. I think the glasses are the same and the person is the same, but also you can kind of tell that it's the same person because of the choices that are being made here. This sweater with this yellow sweater with the yellow scarf, I have so much to say about this. I like it, calming down, stating facts. I like it because it looks so comfortable and is so bold, but is also nuanced and very visibly quality. Like the garments are very visibly quality, and that's exciting. It speaks of taste, but it also speaks of like a liberal way of defining the way that clothing should look, sort of. You know what I mean? Like I actually, that is exactly what I like about it. It speaks of a very high taste level and a very liberal sense of what is fashionable and what is tasteful. Beautiful. I think that's what I like about all of the images of this person. More specifically, takeaways. The sweater looks quite activewear to me. Like this might actually just be a sweatshirt, and then the scarf is like a silk, is fancy. So that's a mixing of formality levels, right? The sweater is a low formality level. The scarf is the silk scarf. It's a higher formality level. It's the kind of thing you think of wearing like with a trench coat to go to the races. You know what I mean? But here it's like they're together and they match perfectly in color. So two pieces that are different formality levels, but the same color, and wearing them together. Wow. Like making all these YouTube videos about fashion. And this is pretty much the first time we've kind of come across that, at least that I have, articulated. That's amazing. I also think that these are suit pants, and I think that might be a suit jacket in her hands that matches the pants. It's like oversized drapey suit on top of it all. It's just impeccable. But the thing that I really love, the really mustardy chartreuse with gray is a beautiful color choice. And that's something that you could steal. But it's really, to me, about the scarf with the sweater in this. Okay, continuing on talking about color. Are you kidding me with this outfit? Are you kidding me? All right, I have so much to say. Once again, the first thing I have to say is this. Look with your little eyes and imagine that the earrings were gone. Imagine that the earrings were gone. It's still a great outfit, right? Like, it's still amazing. That would be like a 2-bean salad. You know what I mean? Or a 3 if you could see what the shoes were. Amazing. Just this really statement sweater over a brown dress that's sort of subtly striped. Very texture forward, very color story. Really amazing. With the earrings though, that is like a 3-bean salad. And it's like a triangulation. I keep saying 3-bean salad. It's a reference to a video that I made months ago about outfits that only have 3 elements. Like literally only 3. I'll link it in the cards. This is such a successful example of that. It's so exciting and yet so simple. It's so relatively doable potentially, but also the earrings are really special. The fact that the sweater is a turtleneck and chunky and comes up high, and the earrings come down low enough to literally make physical contact with the sweater is part of what makes this so stunning. It also has Rothko vibes to me. A takeaway could be this exact color combination, but I think another takeaway is like putting a sweater over a dress in order to bring your summer dresses into fall, which is something that we've talked about a lot. I think that the most unusual and interesting takeaway though is this thing about the sweater and the earrings like touching each other physically and making a sweater earrings choice that like makes contact and contrasts right here, sort of framing your face with your knitwear coming up around your ears and then your like earrings going down to touch your knitwear. Of many exciting things about this, I think that's the most exciting one. I found some more images of this same influencer wearing this dress in different ways, which I love to see. I love to see one garment repurposed and reframed in a bunch of different ways. So you can see here that this is a summer dress. This brown strapless dress is a summer garment that is being brought into fall with layering over and under. So with all the way on the right here, we have an example of unexpected layering. I talked about that in a video recently. It's a way to shake up your relationship with your wardrobe. You look at something that you usually wear underneath other stuff and try wearing it on top, or vice versa. So that's being done to beautiful effect here on the end. And I also think that this is a really good example of formality level mixing, because this dress, it could be pretty formal, right? Like this dress just with jewelry and no other garments, like no shawl or jacket or anything, just like a strapless dress. It could be worn to a wedding or to a formal event. Like it's a pretty formal silhouette, but these aren't formal outfits. So it's like a way to take something that you think of as fancy and bring it into the everyday. Beautiful. Okay, let's talk more about skirts. I'm trying to motivate myself to wear more skirts and dresses this fall. And so I have several pictures of skirts and dresses being worn in ways that I think will make that accessible. All right, here we go. Abisola Omole, my fashion icon, impeccable as always. And in this picture showcasing several fashion concepts that we've talked about recently. So the biggest one to me is the utilitarian jacket over a more formal skirt, because this is a pretty fancy looking skirt. It's pleated. It's like a T length, you know what I mean? Like below the knee. It's not a maxi, which in this case, I actually feel like makes it look a little more formal, like a formal for day, but still more formal, because those layers and drapes over a maxi to me has taken on kind of a street style, like vibey quality. Whereas this just looks very, very polished. Like the length of the skirt is contributing to it looking very polished. The shoes are contributing to it looking very polished. And then this bomber canvas jacket with a fur collar, it's like a really rugged utilitarian jacket. This isn't even the first time we've seen Abisola Omole specifically doing this in one of these videos, because I showed a picture of her in a recent video, maybe actually the last video of this nature, doing something similar, but with different clothes. So it's clearly something at which she excels. I think part of what's making it work here is the beautiful monochrome monochromatic color story. And it's like shades of murky brown. You know what I mean? But blackened brown as well. Like the skirt, most of it's kind of cool toned. I mean, the sweater is kind of warm toned underneath, but the colors, again, it's like Rothko vibes in terms of the variation of color, but how delicately balanced it is. And just, it looks so beautiful on her. A masterclass. And I feel more comfortable. So I've been experimenting with this coat and clothing formality level clash. I feel more comfortable with a low formality level outfit with a formal coat on top. Like that to me is quite easy. Doing it in this direction is harder, but if you can figure it out, it makes it easier to wear even more formal skirts and shoes into the fall and winter. Let us all take strength from how beautifully it's done here and consider that the fact that our jackets are not formal does not need to hold us back from wearing slightly fancy clothes. Okay. Here we have this skirt. I think this is the Johann Sebastian skirt. I brought this up recently as well, this exact same skirt. Although it could be one of the skirts that are fashioned in the image of the Johann Sebastian skirt. There's one from Quince, which is the one I have. And I will say quickly here, I took the lining out of that. I wanted it to be a little sexier. It was very thickly lined. It was very like opaque, which I know some people prefer. But I like it to be like, oh, is that my leg you see through the fabric? So I have the Quince version of this skirt, but I cut the lining out. And now it looks a lot like the Johann one, which I think this is. What do I like about this? Everything. And that it feels a little bit out of reach for me, even though I have a skirt that looks a lot like this. I have button downs. I have sweaters. I have sneakers. And I have socks. I could totally wear this outfit. And I think if I did wear it, I might feel like too much. I think I might feel like it was too much, specifically because of the shoes, the sneakers with socks. I don't know if I'm cool enough to do that. I'm not Gen Z in any way, shape, or form. I'm barely a millennial. I'm like pretty much too old, I think, to even be considered a millennial. Isn't that wild? So what does that make me? Someone who can't really wear, maybe I should try it and it will work. So the bottom part makes me uncomfortable, right? The socks and shoes. It looks great in the picture, but for me, it would make me uncomfortable. However, it's the skirt with the oversized button down and then the sweater layered on top with the oversized button down coming out the bottom of the sweater. And so it's like this layering striation situation that is very inspiring. That's very inspiring to me because it's something that I could do. I could do it tomorrow. I could do it tomorrow with a skirt that looks just like this. And I think if I hadn't seen this picture, I wouldn't ever have thought of doing it. So that is both what I like about it and what you could take away from it. And actually, the skirt aside, the oversized button down underneath an oversized sweater where the button down is longer than the shirt is something that I have not yet tried. So maybe we can all try it together. All right, here are two really good examples of fascinating ways to wear a maxi skirt. I just put them both up together. I just think both of these people look so well balanced between all of these qualities, right? Formality. So both of them look like they could actually be going to some kind of job, maybe even a job where you're supposed to dress well, maybe in the arts or in fashion, but they both look pretty pulled together, even though on the left with the fleece vest, it's maybe a little bit less that. Maybe that's a brunch look. But both of them just look quite intentional and pulled together while also it being relaxed, drapey, oversized, not bodycon. You know what I mean? Like not body forward, even though both of them are wearing maxi skirts that kind of skim the bottom half of the body. I really love that. They both also are balanced between polish and unpolished, which isn't necessarily the same, I feel, as formality. I'm not talking about it as the same thing as formality, like formal enough to go to work versus not. It's just like how sleek it all is, right? They both look a bit sleek, but not uncomfortably so, like a little bit undone and a little bit sleek. They both look really comfortable, even though they're wearing these maxi skirts, which are, there's a lot of fabric. It's something we associate with a more formal silhouette, but they're responsible for what I was talking about before, where maxi skirts are starting to take on this sort of street style, relaxed vibe. Both of these outfits are doing that to the maxi skirts that are in them. And just the layering. I think the interesting thing about a maxi skirt is that because it sort of has that implication of formality, you can then sort of throw a lot of other stuff at it in your outfit in order to destabilize that implication of formality, and it can handle it. The maxi skirt can handle a t-shirt with a shaggy vest on top of it. The maxi skirt can handle this like slouchy slouchy oversized shirt with slouchy oversized longer bomber jacket, heels, and like a zebra print bag, and still somehow hold down the fort. Like in both of these cases, I feel like the maxi skirt is kind of grounding the outfit. That is the takeaway, I think. Oh my gosh, look at this stunning example of deployment of fabrics, deployment of asymmetry. I think that that's the number one thing that I like about this. The asymmetrical hair that goes to one side, and then the asymmetrical earring situation that is heavy on the other side. That is beautiful. And I feel like that, so I've just recently gotten into wearing asymmetrical earrings for the first time in my life. It used to feel like a bridge too far for me. I would have like asymmetrical stuff going all the way back here, but the front two always had to match. I just had to. And somewhere along the way over the last 2 months, I released myself from that constraint, and I started really loving wearing one super long dangly earring on one side and not on the other side. And I feel like I'm never going back. Even without cutting my hair like this, I feel like I could do something like, I could do like an updo that's on one side, or like a side pony to one side, the dangly earring on the other, or something like that. Or it could even be asymmetry with a garment, like something that has a lot of interest on one side and then an earring only on the other side. So there are ways to do this that aren't necessarily about the way that you cut or style your hair. It's such an inspiring example to kind of hold in one's mind. I feel like this is also an example of extra draped fabric balancing out the muchness of what is already there. So this skirt with the pleats and then like a mesh section and a print. The skirt has like a print on it that's like a watercolor of a mountain and some clouds, and then the tabby boots. All of that is very tactile and forward and just like really striking. And I think that if it wasn't for this like draped scarf fabric, it might feel too like crafted. Does that make sense? Like too crafted. But because of all this draped scarf fabric, and I think the asymmetry of hair and earring, and possibly the fact that these shoes have a nice patina on them, the skirt is so statement, but then the other elements of this outfit feel worn. Like they feel comfortably worn and not all like shiny new. Everything is grounded and it just flies. Like it's so successful. Okay, here we have Abby Sola again. So I've had this picture saved for a long time. This other picture of a cream sweater with a cream skirt. It really attracts me, and also there's friction for me because I don't think I would wear these red socks. I think they look great on her. The red socks with the Birkenstocks. I don't have slip-on Birkenstock clogs like that. I don't think I would wear right now in my life. Who knows later, but statement socks like that with slip-on shoes like that. But there's something about that choice that is really defining this outfit. So let's talk about that one first, the one on the right. The shoe sock situation, which it looks so much like something you'd wear indoors next to the fireplace on the weekend. Like it doesn't really read outdoor shoe and sock situation to me. And then the bag, I can't really see the other side, but something about the front makes it look a bit utilitarian to me too, or at the very least kind of technical. It looks like the bag looks like a technical item, a technical accessory. And then this sweater and skirt are so tactile, so organic minimal, so approachable to me, so much something that I could probably easily imitate, right? With what I have. Like I have, not this exact skirt, but I have a long white cotton skirt that I could wear, and I could wear an oversized cream colored sweater with it. So it's like this core of the outfit is something that I really relate to and that I want to try to do more, which is like wearing a sweater over a skirt. And then the bag and the shoes are like weird choices, but I think that if they weren't there, I wouldn't have put this image in this slideshow. The bag and the shoes are really adding grit and interest and a point of view to a core outfit that is something that I would wear. That's what it is. That's what's getting me about this, right? It's a core outfit that I would wear, but she has made choices that are much more interesting than the ones that I would wear. And I'm like, why? Like, why? Why is it more interesting when I wouldn't probably put that bag and I wouldn't probably put those shoes with it, but somehow it's making it more interesting. What is it about that? Is it the awkwardness? Is it the clash of styles, clash of formality levels? Is it the sort of, I don't care? I think there's a quality of this is like, I don't care. I don't care about the vibe of my bag and how it goes with my outfit. That's all I have to say about this. The question is the answer. You know what I mean? Like it's getting at me with a question, and that's what we get from it. And then I put it with this picture of Abisola Omole, who's just impeccable. And this is another example of a cream colored sweater over a cream colored skirt. So that's why I put these together, but really, really different accessories choices, right? The shoe and the bag are much more formal, and even the silhouettes of the sweater and the pants in this situation are much more formal. This strikes me as a more cohesive and kind of calmer outfit. Everything's sort of like vibing with itself. And it's something that I would be more likely to wear. I would feel much more dressed up in it. And so I wouldn't have as many occasions to which to wear it, but it aligns better. It makes me feel like, okay, everything's, and then the other image makes me feel like, ooh, like I could kind of get in there, but what's going on, So it's just, I feel like this is a really interesting study in opposites and the way in which accessories can really change what's going on at the core of an outfit. And at the very least could inspire us all to wear our cream colored sweaters over our cream colored skirts. We're getting into maybe the point of the most intrigue for me personally here in the video. Okay, prepare yourselves. This, I believe, is the same woman who wore the pink shirt with the drapey corduroys. These might even be the same corduroys. And the yellow sweater with the yellow silk scarf. I think it's her because I think they're the same glasses. And I also think that it's her because there is also a silk scarf in this, a silk bandana in this picture. There's a lot that could be said about why this is successful. I mean, but a lot of it has already been said about the other outfits that we saw from her, right? All of the same factors are at play here. Just the color play, the exquisitely balanced, soft color story, the slouchiness of everything, the layering, and the slight cheekiness, but you can't quite, like when you look directly at it, you can't see it. You know what I mean? It's just like really, really good. But the thing that is of interest to me here is this silk scarf. I have been pinning pictures of people wearing a silk scarf around the neck as like an accent to an outfit, and probably also for warmth. It probably also adds warmth. I've had my eye on those Ozma scarves for a long time. I really like them, but I've always looked at them and been like, I don't know how I would incorporate that into my outfits. And now I'm starting to see, I think, how it could be done. And I'm starting to actually want to try this. And this picture is one of the things showing me, because in this picture, she's wearing it just like a regular scarf for warmth. I think I associate a silk scarf with like the summer. And here we have a silk scarf as like a fall, an autumn, winter accessory. And that, it's blowing my mind, actually. It's blowing my mind. So here's an example of that. Here is an exquisite example of that. Look at this outfit. Why do I love this? I love this because this person looks to me like a working artist, right? Like a potter, maybe because of that pot. This outfit totally looks like something you could just wear to the studio to do some artwork, but it's so well calibrated. There's restraint and there's also boldness. Okay, there's restraint in the fact that it's only a 4-bean salad, right? We've just got the sweater, the pants, the shoes, and this scarf. And there's boldness in this scarf and its color, right? This really, really brilliant blue. The way that it's tied around, it looks like it could be for warmth, but it's not a chunky scarf. It's this like color accent and shape accent. And I find this very inspiring. I love the barrel shape of the jeans. I love that it looks easy to move in. It's like a little bit login look, but that scarf is everything. The scarf is showing me the way. And here's another picture. I think I used this in my login look video, actually, that maybe this more than any of them is really showing me the way of the scarf. I see this and I'm like, I could do that. I could wear a scarf like this in this way and it would make sense to me with like oversized black draped clothing with the school shoe. Once again, the school shoe, and then this scarf sort of loosely knotted, right? But clearly for warmth as well, and providing contrast with the whole rest of the outfit, which is monochromatic. This really inspires me. I'm going to try to do it. I think I have an old silk scarf. I don't need to buy one. I have an old silk scarf that I could dig out and try this with. And when I think about doing that, I feel a little block. I'm like, is it me? Could I make it work? There's only one way to find out. I'll have to try it. So I think that that's the takeaway here, especially if you have a scarf like this in the back of your wardrobe. I think I associate these kinds of scarves, silk scarves, scarf ties like this with like a preppy style. I associate them with a preppy style. And none of these images are preppy. That's what is getting me about this. Like she does not look preppy. She looks, again, like artistic. And so that's exciting, is to think about being able to wear a scarf like that in a way that's not preppy. That's what's getting me. Okay, gosh, I'm kind of running out of steam. How many are left? Oh, we just have 3 left. Okay. We can do it. Okay, these last three, if I remember correctly, are just examples of interesting choices, interesting combinations. And we're going to go rapid fire, okay? This is interesting to me because, well, I mean, he's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everything about it is beautiful. These are loafers with sweatpants, okay? And in spite of all that I say, in spite of the fact that I'm a champion of mixing formality levels, the furthest I've gone with loafers is to wear them with jeans, like slouchy jeans. And that already feels like it's a little bit pushing the envelope for me. Loafers with sweats like this is so out on a limb to me. And yet, how can you argue with this person? Like, he knows more about fashion than I do. He is better at it than I am. So I am like, well, maybe I should try it and see how it goes. But I think that it's the envelope pushing that is really what's good about it. And I have pinned a couple images of this person who I once again don't know who this is, but he often is wearing a combination of clothing that includes activewear, like sweats, activewear, oversized sweatshirt or slouchy sweatpants or something with garments that don't align with that. It is a thing that he does a lot, and he really pushes the limit of it. And I am so attracted to it when I see it. It is kind of unique, at least among images that I'm pinning to him. And he pulls it off so well, and it really tickles my brain. Okay, this image, I selected this because I feel like at a glance, this is just like a lovely outfit, right? You look at it and you're like, oh, lovely. So these shades of blue on top, brown striped pants, white sneakers, beautiful. The jewelry, beautiful. Just generally proportionally lovely, right? All of the garments are in balance with each other. Maybe no big deal. But when you really look at the clothing details, they're so interesting. So this jacket has like these pleated puffed poet sleeves, which is the kind of thing that when you're shopping for a jacket and you are trying to improve your personal style, but you're just like you're a little comfortable, kind of going on a limb. You try on a jacket like this and you're like, ugh, I don't like the sleeves. They're too much. Like it's too much. It's trying too hard. It's like too fashion. And you're like, I can't wear that. I'm speaking from the experience of having like been shopping with my friends and family members who are not adventurous with silhouette. In the store, it can sometimes feel like that. It can feel like, oh no, who am I to wear this? Who am I to get this puffy sleeve, pleated sleeve jacket? I need a more normal one where people aren't going to look at me and be like, whoa, what's going on with your jacket, you know? But then when you wear it, if you just wear it, it doesn't have that same quality of intensity or sort of overt fashion sensibility that it might feel like it has in the store. And I think that this picture is a really good example of that. The jacket looks so good. It just looks so natural, so good, crisp, but also relaxed, special, but also natural. And it's because it's out of the context of like this versus a bunch of other jacket silhouettes, and it's being worn with confidence. So it just, and I actually feel that way about everything in this picture. The pants are another thing that they look so good, so natural, so comfortable. So again, fashion, but easy, not effortful, not overdone. I could see some people shying away from choosing pants like this. Just the way that I shy away from like wearing a silk scarf around my neck or wearing my loafers with sweatpants, you know? So I feel like the takeaway from this image is like, risk it like a biscuit and just see what happens, you know? Or if you have a garment that you bought one time because you liked the design details, but you've never bonded with it because you're not sure you're cool enough to wear it, just wear it. And if you just do it, it could in a short day become as easy and natural to you as these garments are to this person. Okay, and lastly, I had to include this one because it's such an extreme example of the short over long, like the cropped over a long thing, the cropped jacket or shirt over a longer shirt, essentially. And that sort of like 3-level visual layering that it creates. So just something that I've shown images of a couple times. We've talked about a couple of times recently, but I'm just now realizing how interested in it I am. And maybe I should have shown this right after the one with the Sebastian skirt with the blue shirt with the sweater on top of it, because I think that they have something in common. And even though I thought that one was about skirts and this is about layering, I actually think they're both about layering for me. In both of these cases, it's the like 1, 2, 3 with the 2 being a long shirt underneath something that's more cropped. Am I actually losing my voice? I actually have filmed for so long that I'm losing my voice. Why? How? I've got to go. Anyway, I also think these shoes are interesting, these clogs. But I've got to go. I have to go get myself on vocal rest, like Jinx Monsoon. Thank you for being here and spending this time with me. This was delightful as always. I hope that you enjoy this and that I can keep doing it because I love this. I get so much out of it. It's like helping me do an archaeological dig of my own current aesthetic interests and expose what it is I'm interested in trying. And it makes me really excited about fashion. So that you're having the same experience over there. And I really hope that you are taking extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.